I just watched one of the most brutal Senate Judiciary moments ever. Senator John Kennedy grilled two Biden-appointed nominees, Judge Darcie N. Campbell and Judge Rick E. Lipez. The footage is jaw-dropping. Kennedy came with facts and headlines. What he exposed will leave you stunned. Let's break it down because this is about justice. It all started with Miss Campbell. Kennedy came in hot. "Miss Campbell, you lied to Senator Grassley, didn't you?" She tried to deny it, but Kennedy wasn't having it. He pulled out evidence. She'd worked with workers' dignity, despite denying it.
Ms. Campbell, you lied to Senator Grassley, didn't you?
No, Senator.
You told Senator Grassley that you've never represented workers' dignity, didn't you?
That is correct, Senator.
That's not true, is it?
Senator, I have never represented that organization.
Yes, ma'am. That's not true, is it?
Senator, it is true. I served for a period of 2 or 3 years, more than a decade ago, on an advisory board to help them set up as a nonprofit.
In fact, you were so supportive of workers' dignity that not only did you represent them, you didn't charge them a fee. Isn't that correct?
Senator, when I was on their advisory board more than a decade ago, I did volunteer my time.
Right. You know what this is? Do you recognize that picture?
No, Senator.
This is from Workers' Dignity's website. There you are, right here. It's got your name. Wow.
Her name and face right there, caught, on record. You can feel the tension through the screen. Next up was Judge Lipez. Kennedy pressed hard. "Judge Lipez, do you have more sympathy for criminals than victims? The case? Micah Smith, a convicted child molester. Lipez sentenced him to 12 years, but suspended 6.
Judge Lipez, you have more sympathy for the criminal than the victim, don't you?
Senator, I worked on behalf of victims of crime zealously as a prosecutor. As a judge, I listened carefully to understand impact on victims, and I have always take that into account.
Do you know Micah Smith?
Michael Smith, Senator?
Micah, M-I-C-H.
I don't believe I know a Micah Smith, Senator, no.
Okay. I bet the victims of Micah Smith remember Micah Smith if you don't.
Senator, there was a defendant I sentenced named Michael Smith.
Mr. Smith molested a 4-year-old girl, didn't he?
Senator, he was convicted after trial of unlawful sexual contact under Maine law.
That's a nice way of putting it.
That was the charge, Senator.
Right. Mr. Smith molested a 9-year-old girl, didn't he?
Senator, again, he was convicted of unlawful sexual contact against 2 children. In that case, I did impose the sentence the state requested.
At oral argument, this is how Mr. Smith's conduct was described. Quote, you heard this testimony, "All of the abuse is done in the same fashion. Smith would rub his fingers in a circular motion on the vagina of each child, and he did so repeatedly." Now, where I come from, we call that sexual abuse. You can pretty it up all you want to.
Kennedy read graphic testimony. No flinching, he wanted America to hear the raw truth. Then he quoted the judge, calling Smith a person who has a lot of good in him.
Judge, this is what you said at Mr. Micah's sentencing. These are your words, not mine. "What I can say," you said, "is that this is a very tragic situation of a person who has a lot of good in him." A lot of good in him. having done a very reprehensible thing to 2 young children causing extreme damage. Did I read that correctly?
Senator, in that case, I imposed the sentence the state requested.
Did I read that, your quotation, correctly?
Senator, that, I think, is a portion of what I said at sentencing. My focus was on...
But the words I read, are they correct?
That's what was reported in the paper, Senator. I have not seen a transcript of the sentencing.
I bet the victims remember, Judge. You might have forgotten, just like you forgot his name, but I bet the victims remember. And then you handed down a sentence. You gave Mr. Smith 12 years, but you suspended 6 of them, didn't you?
Senator, that was at the recommendation of the state because
but it was your ruling. Did you? Is that an accurate statement of your ruling?
Senator, I accepted the state's recommendation that 6 years should be suspended so that Mr. Smith would be required to participate in sex offender treatment.
I appreciate the lengthy explanation, but I think it's a pretty simple question. That was your sentence, right?
Yes, I imposed the sentence the state requested in that case.
Good. After that, Kennedy pressed on, citing a Bangor Daily News editorial, light sentences send a message that domestic violence does not matter. Lipez dismissed it, saying the article misunderstood the jury's verdict, but Kennedy insisted this was about a pattern of leniency, of compassion aimed the wrong way. If that frustrates you too, hit subscribe. We break down stories like this every day.
Are you familiar with the Bangor Daily News?
I am the Bangor Daily News, Senator.
Right. Did you read the article they wrote, quote, light sentences send a message that domestic violence does not matter, end quote. You remember that article?
I have read it, Senator. I believe it mischaracterizes a case that is
That
described.
article was about you, wasn't it?
My recollection, Senator, is that it described several different cases. The case that I worked on that was described there, the defendant in that case was acquitted by a jury of the most serious conduct, and that was not reflected in that article. And so
the newspaper got it wrong.
That was an op-ed that I believe misunderstood what happened, which is the jury acquitted the defendant of the most serious conduct that he was charged with. I was not the fact finder in that case, and so at sentencing I was bound by the jury's verdict.
Let me ask you, I'm going to run out of time here. I wish I had more time for you, Ms. Campbell, but I've seen a lot of activist judges.
As time was running out, Kennedy brought it full circle. He told Campbell, I've seen a lot of activist judges. I'm not saying you're the most activist, but that list is short. Then to Judge Lipez, you have more sympathy for criminals than victims, don't you? Kennedy left one message. The victims remember, even if the judges forget. What I saw in that hearing wasn't just political theater, it was a raw exposure of priorities gone wrong. A nominee caught in a lie, a judge who lightened the sentence of a convicted child molester, and a senator unafraid to speak truth, blunt, uncomfortable, and necessary. Let me ask you, who do you think deserves justice? The predators or the children? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe in accountability, smash that like button and subscribe. We're just getting started.